Welcome to Breakdown, JJ.
Dad.
Today is Monday, November 17th, 2025. We're going to talk, we always talk about SEC Big Ten athletics.
SEC and the Big Ten, they seem to be the ones on top. Let's talk about them.
Well, where should we start? Want to start with coaches?
Yeah, some big news in the coaching landscape. It's not a current SEC or Big Ten coach, but a former SEC and a former Big Ten coach, James Franklin. He just apparently finalized terms with Virginia Tech.
Okay.
To succeed. Ironically enough, his previous defensive coordinator.
So, well, good for Virginia Tech. Good for James Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Hope it works out for him.
Yeah.
Any other coaches? Any more? Because that's another coach we need to talk about too. But anything else on Coach Franklin?
I think that says a little bit about like the current vacancies. He was in discussions with Arkansas, but Virginia Tech, their athletic director came out and publicly said that they're gonna financially support the program in ways that they hadn't been previously. Okay. So I just think that
and Arkansas,
I think it's a good hire.
What did Arkansas athletic director say about a month or so ago about Arkansas financial situation?
They might have to start cheating or something?
No, he came out and said that they didn't have the funds to compete.
Yeah.
And
so that's not what you want to hear.
No, if you're a coach going there, it doesn't make you happy to get there, happy to go there.
No. It's not enticing at all.
There's another coach making news.
Well, yeah, Maryland's Mike Locksley, the athletic director, came out and said that they will be retaining him. He is in the midst of a 6-game losing streak, and he has Michigan on the docks.
Yeah, they're going to keep him through 26. They didn't say anything beyond that. JJ, he is 37-47 in 8 seasons at Maryland. Mm-hmm. That's averaging around about 5 wins a game. Justified in keeping him?
Well, I think it is when you look at the support. Okay. I think Kirk Cinetti has gotten a lot of coaches fired. You look around and say, well, if they can do it at Indiana, why aren't we doing this here? But I think when you look at Maryland, they are right there with Rutgers as like the least well-funded programs in the conference when it comes to football. And you're not going to be able to compete if you don't spend the money. So, I mean, they haven't given Locksley a fighting chance on the defensive side. Like you have to pick and choose where you want to allocate the money to.
True, very true.
And honestly, they can't afford to fire him, pay a buyout, hire a new coach.
It's about $13 million.
Yeah, you have to pay a buyout, hire a new coach.
Yeah.
Pay players still. Like so that it was a situation where, where would Maryland rank in all the openings too?
Good point. But you know what? It's kind of refreshing to see schools understand that firing coaches costs money. It was like LSU didn't realize that until after they had fired their coach.
Well, they're big and mighty LSU. They were living in the past, and the thing about it is the past isn't that long ago.
Okay.
2019 isn't that long ago. It doesn't feel that long ago, but it's 6 years ago, and things have changed. Things have transformed in the college football landscape, and LSU ain't the job it used to be, especially not when you got people talking recklessly for no apparent reason.
Well, JJ, we've talked about James Franklin.
We talked about Franklin.
Mike Locksley.
He's coming back.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin.
Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. Let's talk about Lane. His taking tours around Gainesville.
His family has gone to Gainesville, Baton Rouge. Ole Miss has given him until November 28th, the day of the Egg Bowl, to let them know if he's going to stay. If he doesn't let them know by then, will they fire him, JJ?
That's a good question.
He's not obligated to let them know that, by the way.
Oh, no. I mean, their ultimatum is, you could call it a bluff. It is very interesting to see what they would do. I'm sure they're currently vetting contingency plans. I'm sure that they are prepared in the event that he does leave. I think, I think by right around the time of the Egg Bowl, if you're trying to make a run in the playoffs, yeah, I think you do let them go right around then.
You know what? Who would be hurt the most by him not having an opportunity to win a national championship this year if he decided to leave and Ole Miss let him go before the playoffs?
I think Ole Miss would be hurt. Ole Miss hasn't. When's the last time Ole Miss has won a championship in football? When's the next time they're going to have the opportunity to do it again? It was
when Kennedy was president.
I remember the Billy Cannon run back in '59. They might have claimed one, but I don't know if that's one that I don't know if I'm gonna co-sign that particular claim.
Central Florida won one not that long ago.
Yeah, I would say that one's a little bit more legitimate than the one
Okay.
Ole Miss claim in the '60s.
JJ.
Yes, sir.
Will Kiffin go or will he stay?
I don't think he'd go to LSU. I think you'd be a fool to go to LSU, especially without the Brian Kelly contract dispute thing being resolved.
Okay. Gainesville in Florida, will he go there?
I do think that he might prefer Florida. No state taxes in Florida. I'm not sure if that's how much he cared about that, but I know he has family that lives there. I could see Florida. I could not see him leaving for LSU. Honestly, he'd be one of many at LSU. Like, I feel like Florida he'd be appreciated a lot more. They've gone through quite a few downs since Urban Meyer left them. So I could see Florida, but if I'm a betting man, I'm putting money on in Mississippi. What do you say?
I would say Mississippi, but from a recruiting perspective, is there much different between LSU and Florida?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure. Like, I think both of those are places where you can recruit to, depending on how tenacious you are. But at the end of the day, it depends on how well funded you are.
Okay.
That's what it's gonna take going forward.
Okay. JJ, we've talked about coaches. You want to talk about football?
We can talk a little football.
You want to talk about some games last week?
Yeah, we can talk about some games. What game do you want to start with?
Oklahoma, Alabama.
Alabama.
Oklahoma went to Alabama and won 23-21.
They did.
What does that win do for Oklahoma? What does it do to Alabama, that loss?
What it does for Oklahoma is it keeps their playoff hopes alive. It solidifies it gives them a signature win. They have wins over Tennessee. They have wins over Michigan, but this win over Alabama is a very big win. It doesn't do too much for Alabama. Alabama still has an inside track to make it to the title game over Georgia if they beat Texas A&M. To face Texas A&M.
If they beat Auburn.
Yeah. But, really all it did was it exposed Alabama's offensive line, and it really Tai Simpson was getting hit like I'd never seen him get hit before, and it took him out of the running for the Heisman Trophy. But I don't really think it did too much. Other than
damage.
that,
no serious damage done.
No serious damage done to Alabama. What do you think?
No serious damage, but they got to beat Auburn.
Yeah.
And that's a rival game, and that's not until a week from Saturday. But JJ, what about the South Carolina Texas A&M game in College Station?
Oof, that was an infamous game for one state trooper.
A&M won 30-31. 31-30. A&M won.
Yeah, they came back.
They came back from 30-3 at halftime.
It was 33 at halftime. So you notice South Carolina did not score a single point in the second half. But yeah,
did that game expose A&M at all?
A little bit. In the first half, it certainly did. Marcel Reed looked terrible. Threw for like 50 yards and threw 2 picks. He looked atrocious, but he ended the game throwing for 459 yards.
Yeah,
career high.
3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. They came back one by one. It was a great comeback. It was the biggest comeback Texas A&M history. But what we'll remember it for is that Texas State trooper that won't get the privilege of working any of those Texas A&M games again because how he bumped Nick Harbor after Nick Harbor's 80-yard touchdown.
I thought he intentionally bumped both those players.
Oh, yeah, he was in his
right in
feelings.
between both of them.
That put him up 27-3.
Where was he going, JJ?
To bump those players. I mean,
I agree because his job was back away from where he was going. So
yeah.
I don't understand why he did what he did.
Well, I think he was a Texas A&M fan that was not happy about the score because at that moment in time it was 27-3, but he wasn't even able to stay for the comeback, to witness the comeback, and he won't be able to.
Yeah, they sent him home.
Yeah, they said that he will not be working in future events ever again. So,
JJ, did that win? What did that win do for A&M? Did it elevate them or did it expose them?
you know, I think it elevated them. I think it showed some resiliency. I think that that type of comeback is good for a team, like showing that. I mean, you don't ever want to have to go through that, but once you have gone through that adversity and prevail, I think that that's something that you can rally around. I know Marcel Reed's Heisman odds went up.
Yes, he did.
But
do they have any guilt or any down for the fact that it got behind 30-3?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get behind a 30-3 to a 3-7 South Carolina team.
Yeah,
that's terrible. At home, no less. But they have real talent. Nick Harbor is one of the most athletic guys in the SEC. Lenore Sellers is they have talent.
No running game.
They did not have a running game, and that was exposed in the second half. That was very evident, but. Yeah, it was concerning. It was disconcerting, but disconcerting in a win is I'll take that over.
I agree. Two other games, JJ.
What?
Texas and Georgia. Georgia just keep winning. They won 35-10 at home against Texas.
Yeah.
Texas started the season preseason number one in a lot of people's mind.
Yeah, Texas did start the season preseason number one in the AP polls mind for one, but now they have 3 losses and.
Their playoffs is pretty much over.
Yeah, they'd have to have they have to win out and have a lot of help.
That's true.
They're 17th. They have some really quality wins. Oklahoma's a great win. They have some really good wins, but yeah, they have a horrible loss to Florida, and they have too many losses at this point.
Yeah. Let's go to the Big Ten. Talk about a football game.
All right, let's go up north.
Let's go to not Soldier Field. Wrigley Field? Where was the game played? Northwestern and Michigan. What's the play at the baseball field? Was it Wrigley?
It was Wrigley Field, yeah.
Okay, man, did you see what happened in that game?
I did see what happened in that game. Michigan turned the ball over 5 times. They tried to give it away.
Michigan won 24-22 with a last-second field goal.
Yeah, 30-yard field goal.
Keeps their hopes alive, JJ.
Yeah, they could still feasibly win the Big Ten.
They've only lost one game in the Big Ten.
Only one loss in the Big Ten. They have that other loss against Oklahoma. But they look terrible against Northwestern. I mean, they look decent at times, but, in the first half, what's his name? Andrew Marsh had 134 yards receiving, 13 catches. He looked dynamic. And he is a true number one, so that is good to see. But without Justice Haynes, he's out for the regular season with his foot injury.
At first they said he was coming back. Now they're saying he's out for the season.
Well, he's definitely out for the next 2 games. He might be available.
The coach said he was out for the season.
Regular season is what I heard today.
Okay, maybe regular season. I just heard him say.
I heard regular season, which is the next 2 games. So they had to have Jordan Marshall step in, and he sustained a shoulder injury.
I'm going to say the other running back got hurt too.
Yeah.
So without a running game,
and
they have to live on
their
their
third string running back is a walk-on from Grand Rapids, who his other offers were not even MAC level. It was like Grand Valley, Saginaw Valley. So, yeah.
I know a player from Big Rapids. Trinidad Chandler's quarterback in Mississippi.
You know what? That's true.
His offer wasn't very much either, and from
what?
Grand Rapids.
That you're 100% true. Maybe something's in the water. Maybe you're right. Maybe Ohio State should be shaking in their boots.
I know it's a couple of games away though. Will Michigan beat Ohio State?
It's looking exceedingly unlikely.
Okay.
I
want to talk about some next week's game, JJ. 2 of them in particular. One in the Big Ten, one in the SEC.
All right.
USC and Oregon. Both teams got 1 Big Ten loss. And they're playing at Oregon. Although USC has total of 2 losses. They lost to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But, man, how you like that game?
It should be a good USC looks legit this year. Their defense is different. their offense is streaky. Sometimes Jordan Mailata looks, like dynamite, and then other times he'll struggle, to complete, just a simple forward pass. So, he'll need to be on his A game if he wants to pull off a win in Eugene. And USC's defense will have to make Dante Moore, the quarterback for Oregon, play on his B or C game, But we've seen it before. We've seen Iowa push Oregon around, and we saw Indiana not only push Oregon around, but beat Oregon in Indiana or in Eugene.
I was wrong. I had picked Texas. I thought Texas had righted themselves. I had picked them to beat Georgia. I'm picking USC to beat go on the road and beat Oregon. Have I gone loco, JJ?
No, I think Oregon has looked vulnerable. I mean, I think, at times they look dominant against significantly lesser competition, but, against Iowa, against Indiana, they have looked mortal. So I think USC has defensively looked dynamite. So they have the athletes to play with Oregon. They're not, as long as they're mentally not intimidated by Oregon and their offense comes to play, and as long as they can run the ball. That's been USC's Achilles heel all season, has been able to run the ball. So if they can establish the run, I like their chances. But I think Oregon will be pretty fired up for that one.
True, but they definitely should not be intimidated. JJ, the other game next week, this coming week, SEC, Missouri at Oklahoma. Not huge games, but Oklahoma is still fighting for that opportunity to go to the playoff and to go to the SEC championship game. How do you see the game with Missouri and Oklahoma?
It depends on if Bo Pribula plays or not, and if Bo Pribula plays, it depends on how rusty he is.
Are they saying he's going to play? Because I haven't heard.
Well, he was apparently warming up in pads last week, but it's still undecided. But I don't think they have a chance really. Or Tennessee and Missouri are the only two teams in the country that are ranked in the AP top 25 that don't have a win over anybody in the top 40.
Oh,
so. I think that they're little paper tigers, as one might say.
That was pretty much the case last year for Indiana.
Yeah, but Indiana showed improved. They went out and upgraded their quarterback. They have the Heisman favorite.
I'm talking about last year.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about.
Well, and they got exposed.
Okay. Okay.
But Missouri, they don't even have what Indiana had last year.
Okay, granted. JJ. Can we talk a little basketball? You got more football news before we go to basketball.
Oh, no, we can pivot over to basketball.
Let's talk basketball. Tomorrow, Big Ten, SEC, at it again. Michigan State just can't get enough of beating up on SEC schools. Tomorrow at 6:30, they choose Kentucky.
Yeah, they get
at Madison Square Garden.
They get the early game. Michigan State always gets the early game. It's in the Champions Classic for whatever reason. But, yeah, you got a battle of a couple of ranked teams. Undefeated teams.
No. Kentucky lost to Louisville.
You're right. My fault.
By about 6 or 7. I don't know exactly.
I think it was 8.
Okay. JJ, Kentucky's a 5.5 point favorite. Am I crazy, or the people in Vegas are crazy?
It's interesting that they're a favorite because they lost their starting point guard. He got hurt.
Right.
And people are questioning whether he'll be able to play at all this season.
I heard he might not.
So, it is really interesting that they'd be that much of a favorite.
I know.
But, I thought that there was some issues that Arkansas wasn't able to expose against Michigan State because their backcourt was so young. Kentucky's backcourt won't have those same issues. Like, Ortega Owe is 21. He's a junior. I can't remember if he's a redshirt junior or a true junior, but he was a preseason SEC Player of the Year. He's going to be in the backcourt. They have like a lot of experience. They have Chandler, the sophomore the Mormon sophomore. I think he's from Utah. I definitely know he's a Mormon because he did his 2-year mission. Okay. His name starts with it's alliterative. It's like Kyle Chandler, but it starts with a C. I can't remember, but he's really good. They're probably gonna have to be their knockdown shooter. But he's an athletic freak. He can dunk. He can jump out the gym. I can absolutely see why Kentucky would be favored, but 5.5 point seems a little bit like too much.
I didn't see it. Just one other game this week, Wednesday. Number 11, Alabama going to Chicago to play number 8, LSU. Alabama has already played some pretty tough competition. They played UConn, they played Purdue. Now they're playing Illinois.
Number 8, Illinois.
Right, number 8, Illinois.
You said number 8, LSU. I was confused. Man. I was like, "Are we talking women's basketball?"
My bad.
I was very confused. I was like, oh, "Okay."
Well, thank you for fixing that because I just missed that. How do you like that game?
I like it. You know, Alabama is the second highest ranked SEC team. Kentucky is, the highest ranked at 10. We got 10, 11, 12. Florida, then Alabama, then Kentucky. Florida's the highest ranked one. But I like that matchup. Alabama is very athletic. Darius Philon is a great player. They're gonna shoot threes. They're gonna get to the rim.
They're definitely gonna shoot threes. You know what? I love to see these upper echelon teams playing each other in November.
I love it too, especially SEC in the Big Ten. The SEC was, arguably the best conference in the history of
last year.
Basketball last year.
Yeah.
And this year's things are completely different. This year, the number 1 team in the country is Purdue again. They retook that from Houston after they beat Alabama in Alabama.
Yeah.
And then you have Michigan in 7th, Illinois 8th. You have 3 teams.
Michigan State.
Yeah, but you have 3 Big Ten teams before you get 1 SEC team. So I think it's a little bit different this year for the SEC. I think the Big Ten can be a little bit more competitive. But
the Big Ten is more competitive at the top. I still think the SEC is deeper.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. I'll grant you that. But I do think the Big Ten is more competitive at the top. I think Purdue. They've been talking a lot about ending the Big Ten's cold streak of
since
championships 2000.
26 years.
Yeah, 26 years. They've been and Purdue's never won one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they never won one, but they definitely have not won in the last 100 years. I know they have not won one in the last 100 years for sure. But maybe they won one. I'm pretty sure they've never won one. Yeah. They talk a lot about into that, and I think that they have. I think it's a wide open year in college basketball this year, and I think they have as good a chance as any.
Well, so far the Big Ten is 1-0 against the SEC. They got 2 games this week. We'll see how it shapes out, and we'll talk about it again next week, JJ.
Indeed, we will.
You got anything before we get out of here? What did I leave
out? Maryland Center Farrell Payne. He hurt himself after a dunk. And it was the most gruesome injury I've ever seen. I don't recommend anybody looking at it up, but just keep that man in your prayers. He might not play basketball ever again, but yeah, that was a devastating injury. So just keep him in your prayers.
Man, JJ, you're gonna make me want to stop dunking. I'm out of here. W.P.S. Who picks who?
Go Pistons.
Pistons. You changing up
on basketball season. Football season's over. Football season's over.
We're out of here.